Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's session where we're going to be talking about really how to manage your business while it's in crisis, while it's kind of struggling through a challenge, something that's preventing you to run your business as normal, prevent your business from moving forward. There's a lot going on in the world these days that is impacting our businesses. There's a lot going on that's keeping us from maybe running the business that you ran earlier in this year or last year. And as the world keeps changing, as the world keeps flexing, as we're all tackling things in our personal lives, in our communities, in our society, one thing we have to get better at as we're running businesses as entrepreneurs and business owners is getting more comfortable with working through these challenges. Now, the reality is when it comes to running a business, there's always a challenge. There's always kind of ebbs and flows. So the fact or the idea that you may be struggling right now, you may be asked to do something that you never thought you would do in your business. Maybe you're in a situation where you have to go online and learn all this tech, or maybe you're in kind of one of these challenges that many of us are experiencing right now, where what you were able to do before you couldn't. You can't do events. Maybe your shared kitchen has shut down. Maybe in your city or your town, you're not able to have offered these types of activities or services. And because of that change, because of that shift, you have to look at your business in a new way. You have to look at how and where you're going to go from here. And what I wanted to do today is not only encourage you to get comfortable with the idea that challenges, crises, and kind of issues will always creep up in your business. But I wanted to give you a couple of tips and a couple of ideas and recommendations on what you can do when you start to feel this, when you start to experience a challenge, a problem in your business, and how you can start to turn this into a kind of style or approach in how you weather the storm, how you move forward. And the one thing I want to kind of stress today is as you're thinking about wherever state you're in, is I want you to understand that there is often an answer out there. There often is a way to figure out the solution. But to find the solution, it does mean you have to be able to take a step back. It does mean you need to be clear headed. And I'd probably say our number one thing that I'd recommend if you are managing your business in crisis is making sure that you're focusing on taking care of yourself and your team. Now, I know for many of you, when you hear me say that, it sounds kind of the standard. It sounds like, yeah, that makes sense. We need to be taking care of each other, even during this time of civil unrest, at the time where there's so much injustice going on in the world, even at a time where even me personally in my community, I'm just sad, upset, frustrated, and really disappointed in a lot of brutality that's out there and how my community has been treated. What I have to do is remember that I have to take care of myself. I have to make sure that I build strength in myself. And that means very basic things. That's why I bring this up, because often what happens in our businesses, what happens even when we are fighting for things in our community, when we're banding together and working for change, we tend to drill ourselves down. We tend to work crazy hours. We tend to be doing a ton during the day and a ton of other things at night. And what starts to happen is we're not getting the proper sleep that we need. We're not eating properly. We're not giving ourselves time and space to relax and decompress. And when I say relax, I don't mean that you're giving up the fight. I don't mean that you're not in there trying to make things happen and move things forward. But what I'm talking about is that everyone needs a break. So therefore, if you're working right now, if you're thinking about some of the challenges and things that you're feeling in your business, what I want you to do is set a specific work schedule. I don't want you working 12 hours, 14 hours, 18 hours, working these crazy number of hours to move your business forward. The same thing goes for many of us where we're starting to see what's going on in the world and we're trying to balance where we put our effort into our business and where we should be standing up for things in society, where we should be stepping up to the plate and really making sure that we are not only paying attention to what's happening, but we're taking action in our community. We're taking action on injustice. We're taking action on what's happening to our communities. And what we have to do is we have to strike a balance. You have to find where you're going to put that effort, how you're going to do it, because I want you to act. I never want you to sit on the sideline. I never want you to wait and think until things get better. And I definitely don't want you to be silent while all of this is happening. But what I want you to do is make a commitment that's reasonable and keeps you strong. I want you to make a commitment so that if you're out there protesting, you're getting sleep so you can get up the next day and feel good. I don't want you out there protesting and being irritable and mad. I don't want you out there working on your businesses. I don't want you out there feeding your community. I don't want you out there giving back and you're not getting the rest you need, the clear-headed time to meditate, sorry. And time to make sure that when you're going out to do good in the world, whether it's through your business or through our community, in our society, and fighting for many of the things that are happening in the US right now, that I want to make sure you do it with a clear head. I want to make sure you do it in a strong fashion. And I want to make sure that you can continue to help. Because if you run yourself down, if you get tired, if you get sick, then you're not in the fight with us. And we need you. We need you pushing things forward. We need you using your voice, and we need you growing your business. So I really want to make sure that we talk about these things when we talk about these crises. We talk about what's happening in our world when we talk about our businesses. And also, what I want you to do is I want to make sure that as vegans and as business owners, we're finding our voice. We're finding our place to use this voice. Whether it's just like I see in some of the comments, if you're going to be out there voting, helping people kind of make sure that they're voting. I know we had a lot of that going on yesterday, and I was really proud of a lot of people who were getting out. I'm really proud of the people that are not only using their social media, their email marketing, they're using your channels to get that message out. What I want to do is make sure that you're finding a place for your voice. Now, I don't want to be here to guilt you. I don't want to be here to give you pressure. What I want to do is help you find a way to do more, to be productive, to be able to care about multiple things at once, and to be able to make an impact. So when you think about what's going on in our world, I don't want you to feel like you have to choose between what's happening in our society and where you should be focused in your business. I don't want you to feel like you have to kind of prioritize one versus the other. There's room for us to run our businesses. There's room for us to grow our businesses. There's room for us to use our businesses for social good. And there's room for us to be active in our communities. There's room for us to really lift our voices up, to use our platforms, to use our kind of access to let the world know about injustice. Let the world know about what's happening in our communities, to bear witness to things that we've seen, we've experienced, and what's happened. So I want to make sure you do that. Now, I don't want you to feel like you have to be political. I don't want you to feel like there's a box or a place you have to kind of live in to make this work. What I want you to do is find your space. I want you to realize that yes, we're in crisis. Yes, challenges are happening. Yes, unfortunately, businesses were not only hurt from the pandemic, but now businesses are being hurt by some unfortunate activity around things like looting and so forth. But I don't want you to mix those up. I don't want you to get caught up in the bad or the negative side. I want to make sure when you're thinking about your business, when you're thinking about what's happening in the world, when you're thinking about the challenges that we're all facing, you're looking towards and seeing yourself as an enabling member of the community to drive change, as a person who can use what you have as far as assets to drive change, to bear witness, and make things happen. So today, I hope that while you're watching this, or if you're watching it live, if you're watching it later, or if you're considering kind of what you should be doing or what you want to work on or how you want to play a role kind of in what's happening in the world and how your business fits in, I want you to start to think about what that's going to look like. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to start thinking about your business, thinking about the challenges, thinking about what's happening, and create what I kind of call a 30-day sprint. Now, the reason I bring this up is because for many of you, you have your entrepreneur hats on. You're trying, you're working hard, you've been hit hard from everything that's already going on in the world, and maybe some things that are going to happen and what may be coming in the future. So you may be feeling like, Stephanie, how can I take on more? How can I take on more challenges, more disappointment? How do I manage the sadness that I feel inside? How do I deal with what's happening in the world and make it make sense while I run my business? And the reality is we still need your business. We still need that income, that revenue flowing in. We also need you to be productive. I need you to be a person that continues to drive change in your channel. But what I want you to do is start to think about for the next 30 days what your sprint would look like. What would you want to accomplish while we're in these crises modes, while we're in this mode where we're trying to drive change in our world and our community and our society? And what role do you think your business should play in that approach? Now, that may mean your business is literally going to be the megaphone. Your business is going to help amplify messages. Your business is going to help you and help your community get the word out. Talk about the good that's happening in the world. Talk about where people are making change. Talk about the great people who are responding positively to what is happening in our country here in the US, or if you're anywhere else in the world, you're going to speak to the good that's happening in your community and think about what you can do. The other thing is, think about maybe you're going to be doing spotlights. Maybe you're going to be spotlighting some activists that are doing great things in the community. Maybe you're going to talk about a project that you've been working on and so forth. So you can be that megaphone as one opportunity or way that you can balance the requirements in your business and the crises and challenges that we're struggling in and struggling with today. The other thing that you might want to do is you might want to say, I want to do something over the next 30 days to give back. I want to do something active. Now, what some people are doing is they're doing donations. If you're deciding that, hey, what I want to do is donate a piece of my proceeds. I know some of you may be like, how can I donate some of these proceeds? Stephanie, I'm struggling right now. I'm trying to get my business together. That's perfectly fine. This may not be your option. But if you are having a decent time in your business, if you're able to bring in some of that revenue, one way that you can support what's happening is to donate to organizations that are fighting the fight. Donate to organizations that can help and empower people that are on the front lines helping drive change in our society. And even if that donation feels small, even if that donation is not the biggest check in the world, what I want you to do is feel comfortable and also feel excited and inspired about the opportunity to donate to an organization that can help move things forward. All right. And then the third way that you may think about in the next 30 days, what can I do? How can I help? What can I do to support? Is support the people that are in the front lines, helping those individuals, whether you're doing food and you're going to be bringing them food, whether you're going to provide them with food so they can actually continue what they're doing with the good work, whether it's training, if you have some unique skills, if you have something that can help people, especially if maybe you've been traditionally an activist in the animal rights community, you've been an activist for other types of projects. Teach people, help people, find a way to use your skills, find a way to use what you do and what you do well to help the movement move forward. And that may mean helping people that are out there really trying to drive change, people who are part of the movement. Because what I feel is, as business owners, we are a part of the community. Many of us have storefronts. Many of us do active things in our community at activities. When we could all do events, you were out there, speaking at events, firing people up, joining parades, joining marches, and so forth. And the idea is that you don't have to stop that. Even if your business is struggling, even if you're trying to still get your footing, you can do both. You just have to find your way. So spend some time, I would say, over the next day or so, and start thinking about where your action begins. Start to think about, wow, there's these challenges, these crises. What can I do to either help individuals? What can I do to help my community? What can I do to help other businesses or fellow businesses that are maybe struggling because of some of this unrest that's happening right now in our society, in our communities, and a little bit of the kind of negative energy? And start to think about what you can do, where you want to drive action, because I don't want you to miss this moment to make a difference. I don't want you to miss this moment to drive change. And what I don't want to happen for many of us when we have businesses, we can get so consumed by everything that's going on. We can get so consumed by all of the things that we're feeling, we're thinking, we're worried about. And we forget that often we started our businesses to help people. We started our businesses to drive change. We started our businesses as a really kind of inspiration of being able to take what we do well, what we love, what we're passionate about, and pass that on to future generations, pass that on to others. So when we're in crisis like we are now, I want you to continue that tradition. I want you to continue to look at how you can help people that are outside right now, people that are working, people who are making phone calls, people who are trying to drive change, people that are supporting them, and think about how your business can play that role. And in the next 30 days, what is an action that you're going to commit to actually drive things forward and support the challenges that our community and really we all are facing right now, because injustice for one is really injustice for all. All right, that's all I have for today. I just wanted to come to you quickly and kind of deliver that message and talk about what we can do as business owners when crisis is hitting, when crisis is here, and how the fact that there are challenges that are right at our front door, that as business owners, we should be stepping up. As business owners, we should be really thinking about what we can do and how we can move things forward. And also, what we can do is make sure we're supporting others. Actually, there's a great comment that popped up here, is that we can also support vegan businesses that are ran by people of color. We can make sure that we are highlighting, we are featuring them, we're talking about them. That's what I mean by amplifying that message. That's what I mean by communicating it. So it doesn't always have to be financial. It doesn't always have to mean that you're out there, but what it means is you're playing a role. So thank you so much for that suggestion. I definitely want to make sure that we're doing that. You're talking about these businesses, you're talking about what they're doing, you're sharing their stories and talking about your experience with many of these businesses, your experience, why you love these businesses, why you really want to support any of these businesses, especially any business in your community that's been impacted. Help them, support them, and show them that us as a vegan business community are with them, not only from a solidarity standpoint, but we will take action on their behalf. We will actually do something to help move things forward. Yes, it can be in different forms. Yes, not everyone can protest. Not everyone can do and support in the same way. So I'm not asking you to do it one way. What I'm asking you to do is make sure you are doing something that within the next 30 days, you are committed to driving action and helping not only the crises that we feel in our local community, not only the challenges that we felt all this year in 2020, but we're making sure that we're all as business owners making commitment to the injustice that communities feel here in the US right now. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for many of you that are maybe thinking about or pondering what you can do and how you can help. And if you have questions, or if you want suggestions, or if you're thinking about doing something and you want to share it in the comments, please do it. I'll be checking those comments. I'll be responding to them as usual. And I really look forward to hearing and seeing how we as a vegan business owner are going to get active, and we as a vegan business kind of community are going to support each other. All right, take care. Bye.